Hello bag lovers, welcome back to my channel once again, and this is another episode of my bag making tutorial. I'm bringing this back to you so you could choose to make your own in a different way by adding side pockets to it. This is the bag and it contains a lot, so a client just requests that I make a bag for her to take to work, and I choose to use this lunch bag design to make this office bag so that I just take it to work. She said she will put even her food inside and her things inside. She doesn't want to be carrying two bags, and I guess this is just good enough for her. So I'm going to start the tutorial proper. Follow me as we go in there. So in this tutorial, we're going to be using just 3 pieces of leather. We have the long one, which is 10 inches by 40 inches, the small one, which is 10 by 10, and another 10 by 10, making 2. So this 10 by 10, I'll be putting my belt, which measures 40 inches long. I'll do the same thing to the other side and put them aside. So the next thing, we move over to the main part. We're going to cut the opening. So the opening is going to be like a U shape. So I'm going to take a measurement from each side inwardly, and I took 2 inches inside. So this is what I did: 2 inches, 2 inches. You can choose to make yours 1 inch, but it doesn't matter. It depends on what you want. You can make your own 1 inch from each end. Then you come to the middle. After all this, you come to the middle. You take 9 inches. You take 9 inches from the middle to the top. So that is the length of the opening, 9 inches. So you go to both sides and do the same thing. So after having your 9 inches, you make sure everything is equal, but you are going to give it a curve. Yes, a curve on both sides, a very fine curve on both sides to make it come out shapely beautiful. So it's going to look like an arc, then you cut it out. This is it. So the next thing you should do is to fix your zipper, which I have done, and I decided to top stitch as well. I top stitch it just to make the leather relaxed. That's the purpose of top stitching, and to hide it as well. So when I'll be top stitching the other side, I'm going to show that on camera. So the next thing you should do is fold it together and notch the midpoint. And when you are folding, please, it's the leather you should pick together, not the zipper. Pick the leather together so that you don't have a bent cover. Trust me, you won't like it how it will come out. If it is bent, you won't like the outcome. So you should hold the leather and get the midpoint, then you notch the zipper. So after this, separate the zipper, take the cover flap, notch the midpoint, and fix your zipper, the other side of the zipper on it. So this is what I'm just going to do. So after notching the midpoint, you fix the zipper. Place the notch part of the zipper on the notch part of the leather, the flap. So you pin it down. You sew this other end. I'm trying to show you how you're going to do it that will be easy for you. So you turn it to the other side and sew this side as well. Make sure you follow the curve so that you have a very beautiful bag and a very beautiful cover as well. So just follow the trend, follow the curve to bring it to get a nice sewing. You just keep following the curve till you get down to the end. Yeah, so the next thing we'll be doing is to top stitch the flap. You can choose to top stitch and give it a double sewing to give it a design, but I just top stitch it. And before I top stitch it, if you take note, you see that I press it towards the sewing, the seam. I press it towards the leather side so that it doesn't disturb the zipper when I'm to zip it. So now I'm going to top stitch it, and when I'm top stitching it, I make sure I have a neat sewing, a straight line, it's not rough. So also ensure that, please, it gives your job or your work a professional look. It gives your work a professional look. You don't just have to rush. Don't rush. It's better you get a neat job doing it gently than to be rushing and have a rough work. So you keep top stitching like so, and make sure your sewing is very straight, please. Those are the things you should take note of. So I realized that that thing has shifted, so I have to pull it back, the seam, to stay on the leather side so that it doesn't stop my zipper when I'm trying to zip it on or zip up or zip down. So the next thing we have to do now is to fix our zip head or zip runner, whichever you choose to call it. Some people do call it zip teeth as well. It's the same thing we are talking about. So I want to run my zipper through it because I'm using only one zip, but it's advisable you use two zip, but I'm using only one zip for this client. So it's advisable you use two zip. It makes it actually easier. So I'm going to run it the second time. I don't know why, I just like doing this for fun. Don't mind me. You can choose to just fix your own once, but I like the mouth closed when I'm sewing on it. That just helps me make sure that I'm not sewing it wrongly. So I put it at the middle. The next thing, you bring the other side and join it together. You sew it, it's going to give you a cycle shape. If you're in my paid class, you know we have made a lunch bag like this, exactly the same measurement and exactly the same size. The difference between this and the lunch bag is it's not padded, that's all. So if you take note of it, you see that I pin it down at the end so that it will be equal. It's very equal now. I pin it down at both ends before sewing. So I'm going just to trim off the excess zipper and the excess U-shape side that is longer. So now I got it. So you can choose to measure your own round before fixing the handle, the side. So this I've just fixed my handle. I use 1 inch, but I would advise you to use 2 inches, though it still come out nice, but I really do not like it like this. I'll prefer when next I'm making this, I use 2 inches to space the handle actually. So it was 1 inch from the side before placing the handle and 2 inches from the upper part where the sewing end, the sewing of the handle end. So this particular place was 1 inch, then 2 inches from here. So that's what I mean. So, and I fixed it. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how I fixed it to the bag. I'll do the same thing to the second one. So the next thing is how I fix it into the bag. So this is where you start it. I will advise you use pin so that you'll be sure of what you are doing before you start sewing. So you face the right side, facing right side, then start from that joining on the main body. You pin down. You use your pin to trace it around. Use your pin to trace it around. So when you are sewing, you don't have to be scared of mistake. You just follow the pinning. Now you have pinned it, so it's going to give you what you want. You can choose to curve the edges, but in our lunch bag class, I curved the edges of this particular sides, but in this tutorial I decided not to curve the edges. I just wanted to see how it's going to look like. Actually test run it and it came out nice. So this was how I pin it round before sewing it. So the next thing is to put my machine on it and just sew around. You can see it's going to be very easy for me now. So I'm done with sewing it. The next thing is to sew the other side. I'm done with it. Just to sew the other side the same way we just did. So right now you can see I'm done with sewing the other side. Open the bag and bring it out. Our bag is done. So easy. So that's it. Simple as that. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you have watched to this length, I must say thank you. And if there is any video you want me to put out there for you to watch, to learn, so that I can make your favorite bags or bags that you like, please don't forget to tell me in the comment section. Thank you for stopping by. See you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.